Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today marks the start of a new series for me, folks. I'm starting a new player guide, and the thing that's going to make this new player guide good, I hope, is it's not going to talk about the Hyperdrive bundle that much. We're not going to get the Hyperdrive bundle. I've had a lot of people tell me that if you want to play the game and do well in Grand Arena, in all the other game modes, that you need the Hyperdrive bundle. Then the fact is, whereas the Hyperdrive bundle is an extremely efficient, great purchase for the money involved, if you don't want to, if you don't have the money to do that, you can still have a very competitive account. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, if you're watching one of my videos for the first time, I am a Grand Arena specialist, and what that is in this game, if you haven't gotten to that point yet, it's the premier version of PvP that we have currently. We have Territory Wars, of course, we have the Arena, which is something that perhaps should get updated, but those aren't, in my opinion, the most competitive versions of player versus player. Grand Arena is something where you can use all of the different characters that you've farmed and geared and everything and compete against other people at the same-ish level as you, and that's something that I've had a lot of success with on both my alternate account and my main account. I've done very well in both of those, and I want to show you guys how to play Grand Arena with a good account. And the good news is, if you follow this guide, not only will you be able to play Grand Arena at a high level, you'll also be able to compete in all of the different other game modes that are more player versus environment or PvE. And so there's a lot of stuff that's going into this. Now, I do have a whole farming guide written up. I do not have all the bells and whistles ready for it, but I don't want to start getting behind on this account on all the different things that I'm doing. So I'm going to be releasing this video, perhaps a few more weeks worth of videos while I work on the actual farming guide to make it a little nicer than the current spreadsheet version is. But anyways, let's just jump in, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff on the emulator that I'm using to show you guys this account and what status I'm at after a week worth of playing. So the first week, you're going to be spending a lot of time just going through the different nodes here. And what I mean by node is there's a light side battle, there's a dark side battle, there's cantina battles. I think those are most of the things that you can do early on in the game. And each of these things have gear, they have characters that you could potentially farm, and so you can see here I'm halfway through my light side battles node 5. This is the hard node, so you have to get all the way through the normal mode first, and then you get through hard mode. We do have our energy maxed, and so I'm going to show you guys just real quick how I go about this. Now, we'll talk about getting allies later, but for right now, I do want to point out that having a lot of allies with strong characters is going to make this whole process much, much easier. So you can see that I've allied with myself here, and so I have access to General Skywalker, which is a really advanced character that you won't get for quite a while. However, for right now, you can see he's this character is pretty overpowered. If you jump in here, we have Phoenix geared up right now, and that's something else we'll talk about shortly. But honestly, I'm not going to show you guys all the gameplay itself. I just hit auto a lot of times because it can take so long to get through these different levels, and if you're just clicking on the attacks. Now, it might be wise to try to get used to this if you're a brand new player and you want to learn all the different character mechanics. But the fact is, like, you see all these low-level characters attacking. They're good, but I'm not really of the same level as these characters. That it's just going to take a lot of time to get through them, and so instead I'm just letting my ally move through it for me. So as you can see, General Skywalker killed all of the enemy guys. The rest of the Phoenix squad kind of did some token damage, and we did end up getting 2 shards of Anakin, some random gear, and that's great. So now that we're at 3 stars, we can move on to the next one. It really, even if you get 1 star, you can move on to the next. However, you can you need to move through all of these battles if you can, as quickly as you can. Alright folks, so I'm just going to be running all of these hard nodes on auto while I talk about this. So there are a lot of different people who think that there's better ways, frankly, to start a new account, and I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that that I'm the sole arbiter of truth here, but I will say that following a different guide from this, or rather following multiple different guides and trying to like combine all of them, is probably not necessarily going to end very successfully. I put a lot of time and thought into this. There is absolutely a method to my madness. We want to unlock important characters as quickly as possible, and we're going to be following a very prescribed method. And so for those of you who want to go to the forums and find out that if I'm actually right or wrong, just keep in mind that some people are going to disagree with my method. I will say that I've had a very successful alt account. I've had a very successful main account. I haven't spent a huge amount of money on this game, and so one way or another, I think that I've got a lot of the principles nailed down. But it's obviously your call. I will just say, if you want to follow this guide, I would recommend following it as closely as possible. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is your starting squad, which is going to be Phoenix. And you'll hear a lot of veteran players say that, oh, you should never work on Phoenix. Phoenix is not actually a good squad to work on. They're not effective, and they're right. For the end game, they do diminish pretty significantly, if we're being honest. They don't have a huge amount of staying power throughout the game. However, these veteran players are a lot of times also going to be confusing the fact that they can't use Phoenix anymore with the fact that Phoenix are extremely effective early game. They provide a lot of different things that you need to have, and so the fact is, you need Phoenix to be able to unlock one of the most important characters still, Grand Admiral Thrawn. You absolutely need him, and Phoenix are the only way to unlock him. They are also going to help you to unlock Yoda, Grand Master Yoda, I should say. They'll also help you unlock Emperor Palpatine. Their ships will help you unlock Grand Admiral Thrawn's capital ship, and they're incredibly important and useful as a synergy squad to be able to take down Galactic War, which is something that's very important early game, which I'll talk about in a moment. Now you'll note that I have all of the different Phoenix characters except for Sabine. A lot of people say that you should not farm Sabine early on, and I think that that is also incredibly false. Sabine is honestly one of the most important characters in Phoenix. She is the one who provides the majority of damage for the squad, and she also takes a very long time to farm. However, the first time you unlock a dark side hard node, her node is the very first one. Now it's accurate to say that it takes a very long time to get her all the way up to 7 stars, which is the highest star level, and it even takes a while to unlock her. However, she is incredibly important to the Phoenix squad, and if you don't unlock her, at least you can't even use her ship. Her ship is a lot better if she's 7 star, and frankly she is in contention for our first Zeta as well, which we'll get into in later weeks. But she is very important to the Phoenix squad, and you need to every day be spending 5 energy, or rather 60 energy, which is 5 different attempts on the hard node. There is RNG involved on how many shards you get each time you go on the node. Roughly 33% of the time for each attempt you'll get 1 shard, and that can be frustrating. I would just advise you from the very start, from day 1, I would advise 5 attempts on this node every single time. Okay, so one of the reasons that you want to farm Phoenix early on is when you get to level 40, you unlock a game mode called Galactic War. And Galactic War, it has a lot of different components to it. I'll kind of go through it a little bit here in a minute, but the fact is, it can be very difficult to complete every day. But if you do complete it, and that means going through all 12 nodes, once you get through it, you get a lot of currency. Now, currency in this game is a very important thing to manage. Like that, this is a resource management game, and later down the line, it's a strategy game, and the two go hand in hand. And so, you very early on, you get the shipments tab, and you can spend credits to buy different things. Now, I would advise not spending crystals on any of this. Crystals are directly linked to money. Like you basically have to spend money to get more crystals, or you can get them in game through some difficulty. So yes, you can spend crystals to get different character unlocks, to get different gear unlocks. For our method, we're going to stay away from those. What we're going to do though, at every refresh, every time the store refreshes, which is every 6 hours, you want to buy each and every one of these pieces of gear for credits. This is especially important early on in the game. It's extremely important that you buy these because these are very relevant pieces to all of your different characters. You absolutely want to buy those right away. You can stay away from this weekly shipment tab for now, at least in week 1, and then when you can, you're going to be spending once you've unlocked some of these tabs, and it takes a while to do all of this. But once you start being able to purchase things, spend all of your currency on Chopper. Just get him as high level as you can. Eventually, you'll spend them on other important characters. There are a lot of important characters in this shop. But for now, spend everything you have on Chopper until he is at least 5 stars. You need Chopper to get to that point, and this is the only place you can get him. Now, once you get this guild store, once you've joined a good guild, you can start purchasing this gear, and I will say that this gear is also incredibly important, and I know that eventually, like, you'll see a lot of important characters that you're going to need down the line. You can buy those, you can buy shards from these characters, but right now the best bang for your buck in these shops is going to be this blue gear, and we only have 196, so we can only buy one. Now, this is something we get from challenges, and eventually we're going to have 1 million of them, but right now it's a huge bottleneck, and you want to buy this if you can. Eventually, like I said, you're going to have 1 million of them. You're going to feel like it was worthless to buy these, like why did you ever purchase them? But it's going to save you a huge headache right now. So right now you're not getting much guild currency, but when you do have it, I advise spending it on the different gear that your characters need. Now, the arena currency, I just spent all of mine. You just want to spend it on Kanan, all the way until 5 stars, probably till even later than that. But for right now, just do it on Kanan. You will not regret it. Probably just get him to 7 stars, frankly. And then finally, you go to the Galactic War store, and this store has some okay characters. The thing is, you get way more currency from the Galactic War than from any other thing, and so this is the shop that you're going to get your first 7-star character, and that 7-star character is going to be Zeb. And so every time you have 400 of this currency, and you get 1,200 of it each day, if you complete Galactic War, you need to spend 400 of it on Zeb. The store will refresh in 6 hours. Spend it on Zeb again. The store will refresh again in 6 hours. Spend it on Zeb again, and then you have one period where you don't have to spend it on him. But every time, buy a Zeb, a 5 Zeb piece, and move on. It's very important that you just focus and get Zeb all the way to 7 stars right away, as fast as you can. Okay, so I want to show you guys Galactic War in just a minute, but first I do want to show you guys, so you'll have the opportunity to spend these things called ally points, and you see I have 18,000 ally points, and almost none of them are actually good deals. Like you only want to spend them on bronzium data cards, and you get 10 of these for free every day if you want to click that many times and log in that many times. But it's your chance to get some pretty low-level gear, or you can get character shards or unlocks. In the early game especially, you absolutely want to just be spending as much of this as you can. Now, there are some auto-clickers available to do this for you once you've got a lot of it built up. That's what I do for my 2 other accounts. You want to get as many character shards as possible, and that I'm going to talk about that in my farming guide. But this account is going to be spending a lot of effort on not farming gear, because that's kind of short-sighted. You want to farm characters first and foremost. That is absolutely the most important aspect. And frankly, this shard or this bronzium data card pull, as you can see, we're not getting any characters here really, but all of this gear is stuff that we can use. Now, this is a relatively worthless character, but we did get 1 shard from it. If we get enough pulls on the bronzium, eventually we'll actually unlock that character at 7 stars without ever having to farm him. So I'm not going to just show you guys this all day. It is important, though, that you continue on with this farm throughout the course of your playing. Frankly, like I still do it for my main and my alt. It is one of the most important things that you can use those ally points for. In general, I would advise you only use ally points for that. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys, this is the first kind of really difficult node. There's usually about 4 total nodes that are hard. This is the 6th one, and so you see the character levels are already significantly higher. Some of them are higher level than ours. In fact, they are lower gear. And so what we're going to be doing, we're going to enter in here, and you'll note right away that Phoenix have their full health, and now they have a protection bar, which we don't normally get until much later down the line. And I'll just show you guys how to use this. I haven't tried to fight this team yet, but for a more difficult node, I will taunt with Kanan. Usually, I just let the characters just kind of choose who they want to hit and kind of distribute damage evenly. But we are, right now, just going to be trying to be beating this really difficult node as quick as we can. So, called Zeb to assist there. Try to get him stunned. Now, Chopper, you always save this Dispel with Chopper for when someone's taunting. So we remove that taunt. We need to get rid of this scavenger before he just destroys us with thermal detonators. And alright, now so he's gone. Now it looks like Kanan is taunting. We can daze him at least so that he doesn't counterattack us when we hit him. Now, one of the cool things about Phoenix as well is when we get hit, because we have Kanan, we also have counterattack for the whole team. And so when we get shot, sometimes we're going to shoot them back. Let's see, let's put protection up on Chopper here. And so we're just going, we just got to move through the squad here. All right, we dispelled his taunt. He's low enough level here right now, or low enough health, that we're probably going to be best suited just trying to take him out right now. I send Zeb in to assist here because he does daze, so that and then eventually he stuns, so that Kanan isn't able to hit us back. And I'll be back in a moment. In fact, let's just move through it. Now we're through the hardest part. So it does take a while to chew through some of these teams. Galactic War is not necessarily the fastest mode out there, which is another reason why you want to get 50 every, or you want to get full completion every time, because it just takes, once you get to 50, then you can just auto it. You can just sim it, and it's just done. So we'll dispel one more time here. And You'll note now that I'm just using my basic attacks because we want to save our special attacks and moves for the next fight, which might be difficult and we might need them for that. So this is the easiest of the more difficult nodes, but you'll note that you can. This is also one of the places you get the most currency. So you get 200 currency and you get some crystals, which is nice. Now, at first, Galactic War seems really easy. The first few nodes are very easy. You can see all of our characters are like at level 43, and all of these guys are significantly lower. They have low gear levels. So what we're going to be doing here is we want to use this full Phoenix squad if possible. Now, Ezra is a little lower on gear than I prefer. And in fact, I think we might be able to... Oh, we're one piece short here. Let's real quick go to the challenges. I think I still have a couple challenges left. And you need to be doing this. Remember, some of these are 5 every day. And some of them you only get 3. You don't want to forget. Now, this is on Sunday, and so I'm able to do every single challenge. And that won't always be the case. But, alright, so we got the challenges. Here, let's go to Ezra real quick. Throw this gear on him. Get him up to gear level 4. Put whatever we can on him. Because remember, all of these different characters that we are farming... Oh yeah, and see, we bought those pieces. We could either trade in 5 salvage from them, and if we can farm the salvage, it's very difficult. Or we can buy 5 full pieces. This is basically 25 salvage for just a small amount of currency. So we just were able to apply that right away, which is nice. And we could farm all this other gear. Right now, I really don't want to spend the time working on that. It might end up being really important to do that at some point, but gear 4 should work fine for this level. So we're going to select the battle. We're going to throw Ezra in there. And gonna go. So the important thing about having Phoenix in this squad, in this early game, I should say, is that they work together to heal each other extremely well. So every time they take damage, they passively heal themselves, and they also give each other different abilities based on which characters are included. And so being able to just work together and heal yourself, that healing is an incredibly important thing for success in Galactic War, and this is the squad that is frankly just amazing at doing that. There aren't any other early squads that have an amazing amount of healing this early on, and so this is 9 days into it, and I already have a full Phoenix squad unlocked like that. That's pretty strong. There's no other squads that you can do that with. So you'll notice that I'm using my basic a lot toward the end because I want to use my specials in the next fight. Now we got the victory here. And we can unlock the box. What do we get? We get like almost nothing, but the rewards will continue to increase for every node that we get through. There are a total of 12 nodes. I'm not going to show you all of them, so I'm actually going to stop now, and I'll show you guys what it's like toward the end of a Galactic War. Alright folks, and now we are on the final node here. It's the hardest of all of them. They are all gear 5, I believe, with decent star levels for this level. It's going to be kind of a challenge. Usually it is. The good news is all of our characters are still at full health because they're Phoenix and they're healing each other. And so yeah, we'll see how this goes. We want to take out the attackers who can do the most damage fastest. So that means Leia, if we can take her out before she gets a turn, then that is great. Okay, so got Leia out. Now we'll take out Luke if we can. And we can dispel this taunt. And this is not actually a very difficult lineup for our final lineup. If I'm being honest, this seems pretty easy. Sometimes it can be pretty gross for whatever level you're at. And remember, the level, the difficulty escalates as you continue to update your roster. The game sees that, and so the next time we'll have even harder opponents. They don't just stay at this level forever. So we can use all of our specials now at the end because this is the final mission. So why not just taunt with Kanan? Take out the healer here. Usually we just save the tanks for last because the tanks don't do much damage. And if we try to take them out while the healer is still alive, then it can just take a really long time to actually kill the tank because he keeps getting healed by the healer. So there we go. Got the last node done. If it's actually going to give us credit, there we go. And alright, so we actually even got an Omega material, which we can't even use until like past level 70. We're going to need a lot of these, though. They're very, very important. So got some random shards, got some more crystals, and there we go. So now you might be tempted, like we have 2,000 currency now. Great, wonderful. You might be tempted to buy some Luminara shards because she was cool in the Clone Wars show, and that would be a bad move, frankly. You don't want Luminara shards right now. You only want Zeb, and you're not getting enough currency here that you can afford to spend it on anyone else. You need Zeb to get 7 stars as fast as you possibly can. Now, something I didn't address earlier, and oh cool, we get to unlock Princess Leia at what, 1 star, looks like? We're not going to use her. We'll just activate her because it's fun. 2 stars, cool. We're still not going to use her. We're going to need her eventually. But the one thing that I did not address previously was you need to farm Ezra and Hera both from Cantina. That's the only places you can get them. So you need to unlock Hera first. Hera is in the first node here. You need to get all of her shards up to whatever she unlocks at, 2 stars, I believe. And then, or maybe at 3 stars, then once you've unlocked Hera, you need to focus on Ezra to get him unlocked. And today was the first day I've gotten to use Ezra. So keep in mind that you're not going to necessarily be able to have both of those characters available immediately, and then once you're done unlocking him, then you're just going to want to swap back and forth between the two until they're both 7 stars. Now, one other farming thing that I want to point out is eventually we're going to be using the Cantina store to be able to farm Boba Fett. If you have extra energy in the day, then I would recommend farming his hard nodes as well, just to get a jump start on it. I've already got 19. He unlocks at 4 stars, which is 80 shards, so it takes a while, but he is absolutely on the list of characters that we're going to be early farming and gearing. He is a really great character for early game, and he continues to be useful all the way until end game. So there are 2 nodes with Boba Fett early on. I recommend you farm both of them if you have energy. Another point that I want to make here, just to mention it, is you can refresh your energy for crystals, and that is probably the only thing you want to be spending crystals on right now. You can refresh it 3 different times for 50 crystals in a day, and you get a bunch of energy for it. You can farm either gear, or you can farm you can actually get energy for it, or you can get gear, or you can get characters for it, or both really if there's gear on the character shards. And I do that 3 times every day when I have enough crystals to do that. As you can see now, that if I want another refresh, it would cost 100 crystals, and that stops being worthwhile once you hit that point. Similarly, the Cantina energy, every once in a while you might want to spend 1 refresh, but in general you just don't want to. It's much too costly right now at this stage in the game. You don't want to spend any crystals on Cantina refreshes. I'm going to insert this clip right before I start talking about guilds, so it's going to seem a little bit disjointed in my conversation, but just so you guys are aware, when you go to join another guild, you really need to make sure that the guild has a lot of people in it. You need a big guild to be able to succeed, and you need a guild that is able to finish the highest level of all 3 current raids if you can. It's not a complete deal breaker if the guild you join doesn't have the highest level of Sith Triumvirate raid under their belts, but the other 2, Rancor and Tank, absolutely every guild needs to be finishing those 2 at the top levels. They're not hard to do. Almost every guild can finish them at the top, so I need to do that. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is early on, you're going to have the chance to buy 2 packs early. So you can buy the Hyperdrive bundle. As I said, I'm not going to be doing that. You can, of course, do that, though that's going to bypass this guide by quite a few weeks. But beyond that, there are 2 other packs that you can buy, which I would recommend spending a little money on if you can afford it. If you want, it's going to save you some time and headache in the early part of the game, and frankly, they're characters that you need anyways. That's the Light Side and the Dark Side pack. They are $5 each. US dollars. I don't know what they translate to in other countries, but they are pretty good. Like you get Count Dooku at a pretty functional level, you get Stormtrooper Han at a functional level, and they're all characters that you want anyways. They're pretty good deals. They're gonna save you time and headaches early on, but you don't absolutely need them. So I actually did purchase them on this account, and the thing is, I purchased them because they're not going to really interrupt the flow of our farming by very much at all. So it's not going to interrupt the schedule. It's just going to make my life a little easier, and I decided I didn't want as many headaches, so I did it. You guys should feel free, of course, if you want to go full free to play. It's really not going to slow you down that much, but I did think it was worth mentioning. Alright folks, so that's basically it for today. This has probably gone on way longer than I intended anyways, but just a lot of things to show you guys. So the things that I didn't touch on that I'm going to talk about just for a minute here, you need allies to be able to finish your missions, and that's easy enough. You just have people add you as an ally, or you add other people as the allies. There are places on the main forums that you can go to get ally codes to get allies. There's probably going to be a section in my Discord server that also has ally codes that you can ask for. You can also find a real guild. Now the game places you in a just like starter level guild, and it's not good. It sucks. I would recommend not staying in that guild. I would find another guild, go through the forums. There's also Discord servers that can be linked, and I will try to leave at least one of those recruitment servers on my video description, so go check out that server as well. But joining a real guild is just going to be a lot better than the fake new player guilds that they have out there, frankly. Otherwise, join the Gambit Discord server. Come ask questions. Come hang out. Come brag about how good your account is now. We would love to have you guys. That's also in the video description, as I had mentioned earlier, I believe. And anyways, folks, I'm going to leave you here. So thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.